everyone. I will just let everyone get signed on and settled in just for a couple minutes. Can everyone hear me? Oh, hi, Catherine. So excited. Hey, Sarah. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Is everything good? Mike. Can you guys hear me? Just do like a thumbs up or something if you can hear. Awesome. All right, so I'm just gonna let everyone get signed in, but if you want to grab a water bottle, that would be great. And you're also gonna need 2 yoga blocks for your practice today, so yoga block. If you don't have a yoga block, that's okay. You can just grab a pillow or a blanket or something, because you might need some support at one part of our practice. So let's get started. So we're gonna get started in a wide-kneed child's pose. So you're gonna bring your hands to stack under your shoulders, knees below your hips. Bring your knees mat width apart, and just send your hips back, sinking down towards the ground. Just starting to take some deep breaths. So all together, let's take a big deep breath in through the nose. And out the open mouth, exhale. Again, breathe in through the nose, filling up the belly, the ribs, all the way up to the collarbones. And out the open mouth, exhale. One more all together, just like that. Breathe in and hold at the top this time. Taking one more little sip of air. And exhale, let it go. So on every inhale, just finding a little bit of length. And every exhale, sinking a little bit further towards your heels. Starting to ground down and bring some awareness to your breath, to how you're feeling, and maybe setting some sort of intention for your practice this evening. On your next inhale, bring your body over towards the right side of your mat. And just bring your left hand to follow. And just find a lateral stretch along the left side of your body. So if you want a little bit more of a stretch and a sensation here, you can stack your left palm on top of your right hand. Just take 3 deep breaths here. And then come on back through center, switching sides. So you're bringing your left hand to the left side of the mat. And stacking your right hand on top of left. Keep intending your hips towards your heels here. Come on back through center. One more deep breath in your child's pose. And then exhale, come on up into your table. Swing your legs out to the right, and then just come onto your back. So draw knees in towards shoulders. We're just in a half happy baby here. So maybe rocking a little bit side to side, massaging out the low back. And to come into full happy baby, you're gonna send the soles of your feet up to the sky, reach in between your legs, either grab for the outer borders of your feet, your big toes, ankles, or your calves. So wherever you can keep your low back grounded here. Stacking your ankles over your knees. Again, you can invite that slight rock side to side. And taking some deep belly breaths here as well. Now we're going to add on, start to engage the core. So send your hands between your legs, pressing your palms towards the front of the space. And then lift your head and shoulders off the mat and squeeze your triceps into your inner thighs. And just really create some resistance here. So squeezing your thighs into your triceps and then resisting. So you can squeeze your tailbone up a little bit here, squeezing everything in towards the midline. Don't forget to breathe. Try to keep your ankles stacked over your knees as best as possible. We're just going to hold here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let it go. Still rock a little bit side to side here. Now reach in behind your thighs and just start to rock up and down the length of your spine. Just massaging your spine. Should feel really nice. Just keep rocking up and down. And this time we're going to come up into table pose. So find a neutral spine here. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, hips over knees. You can either tuck or untuck your toes, doesn't matter. And we're just going to take a few rounds of cat and cow here. So on the inhale, you're going to look up, drop your belly. And then exhale, squeeze everything in, looking towards navel. Again, inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, round in. Just continuing on your own for a few breaths. Now come back to a neutral spine. Spin your fingers to face your knees. So palms are still grounded, flat on the ground, but your fingers are pointing towards your knees. So we're just going to stretch out the wrists a little bit here. So rock forward and back. Just starting to wake up your forearms, the wrists. And you can even continue your cat and cows here. Should feel really nice. If you find a sweet spot where you're really feeling the sensation, it feels really good, you can just hold it there. Breathe into it. And then on your next inhale, bring your fingers to face towards the front of the mat. Drop your belly, look up. And then exhale, tuck your toes, hover your knees, just 1 inch from the mat and hold. So we're firing up through the core here. We're going to use a lot of core and upper body strength in our practice today. So tucking the tailbone, spreading the shoulder blades apart, really rooting down through the hands. Squeezing everything in. You should feel some fire burning up in your core. One more deep breath. Exhale, release the knees. Look up, drop the belly. And we're going to come into our second round. So lift the knees, hover and hold. Breathing deeply. Maybe you're starting to shake a little bit, which is good. And then release. One more time, look up, inhale. And exhale, round up and hold. So your knees should really just be hovering 1 inch from the mat. Keep spreading the shoulder blades apart. One more deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. And then drop your knees to the mat. So from here, we're going to come into a high plank pose. So keep your hands exactly as they are, shoulders stacked over wrists, and then step your feet back and coming into your plank. So squeezing your glutes, really engaging the whole body here, squeezing the core. And we're going to lower for 3, 2, and 1. Coming right down onto the belly, Tops of the feet are rooted into the mat. I'm just going to take 3 rounds of baby cobra here. So just lifting up the hands and the heart. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, lift the chest, the hands. And exhale, let it go. One more round. And exhale, release. So from here, you can push back up, either into table pose or plank. And then lift your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. So your hips are pointing up towards the sky, your hands are really rooted into the mat, but hip width apart, fingers are spreading. And you're broadening across your chest, you have a slight external rotation of the shoulders. Just taking some deep breaths to settle in here. You can pedal out your feet if you want, crack the toes. Should feel really good. A nice long neutral spine. Maybe give your head a nod yes, no. Just relax the neck. And on your next breath in, we're going to step forward to the front of the mat. Just find a ragdoll forward fold, so just relaxing the upper body over your lower body. Doesn't matter if you can touch the ground here or not, just as long as you're folding forward. Maybe invite a slight bend into your knees. And you can reach for opposite elbows. That should feel really nice to open up the shoulder blades. Or you can interlace the fingers behind the neck. So whatever your body is craving tonight. Then your next inhale, you're going to bring your hands to your shins, look up halfway, flat back. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach up. And just bring your palms down to your chest. Maybe closing your eyes here, just coming back to your breath. Noticing if you feel any different from the beginning of your practice. Turning back to that intention you set for yourself. And just thanking yourself for arriving here and being present. All right, open your eyes, reach up, look up, and then send your feet about mat width apart, send the toes 45 degrees out. And then we're gonna just drop down into a low squat. So this is called Malasana squat. So you're gonna bring your elbows to your knees, spread your knees wide apart, squeeze your bum, and that will really help get the knees further apart. Keep your spine long, and then just hover your elbows from your knees, and just lift up 1 inch. Hold it there, breathe. Exhale, come up 1 more inch, hold it. Again, 1 more inch, hold. We're just gonna invite a little bit of a pulse here. So really activating through the glutes, the quads, the legs. You should feel this in your core as well. I know I'm feeling it. Then we're gonna come all the way back down to that Malasana, bring your hands to the mat. Step back into high plank. And then this time we're gonna lower all the way, or you can lower it down all the way if you'd like, or you can just lower halfway down into your chaturanga. So your elbows are at a 90-degree angle. Come on up into your back bend, whether that be upward facing dog or cobra, and then downward dog. So, whew. Let's take a couple breaths here to reset before we go into our flow. So bring your big toes to touch and lift your right leg up towards the sky. So keeping your toes pointing down, shoulders are active through the fingers. And then we're gonna bend the top knee and then open the hip to the right. So you're stacking your hips. Your right foot should be the highest part of your body right now. And then keeping your shoulders square to the front of the space as much as you can. Breathe. And then exhale, step your foot in between your hands and drop the back knee. If you have any knee issues, you can also pad your mat here. So just roll it over and just give yourself a little bit of padding. Otherwise, you're good like this. And then just reach your arms up to the sky, coming into a low lunge. So again, your knee is stacked over your ankle. You're trying to square your hips to the front of the room as best as possible. So squeezing your glutes, engaging your core, lengthening the spine, sending your right hip back and your left hip forward. Breathe. And then with the help of your left hand, grab your right wrist, and you're going to lean over to the left. So again, we're coming back to that lateral stretch that we did at the beginning of practice. It should feel really nice. And on your next exhale, come on up. If you have your blocks, now would be a good time to grab them. We're going to come into our half split. So you're going to shift your hips back and straighten out your right leg. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale to fold. So if you can't reach the ground, this is a great part to bring in your blocks. Otherwise, just bring your hands to the floor. And point your right toes up towards the ceiling. Then on your next inhale, bend back into your right leg. Ground your left palm, and then reach your right arm up to the sky. So you should have a long line of energy from your bottom hand to your top hand. And you're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to add on, you can lift your back leg and really squeeze through the back leg, the glutes, so your full body is on and engaged here. You can look up to your top hand and try to open up the right shoulder. So you should really be opening up. And from here, walk your right foot halfway down the mat and just roll to the outer borders of both feet. Inhale, send your right arm overhead. And then exhale, drop your hips lower down to the ground, sending your right arm back. Inhale, come on back up, sending hips to sky. Exhale, lower. One more time, reach up, breathe in deep. And exhale, lower. Come on back up, bring your right hand to the mat. Come into high plank. Exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. So now is a good time to take a sip of water if you want to take a little break. We'll just hang out here in down dog for a few breaths. All right, so big toes together. Lift your left leg up towards the sky. Toes pointing down. And then bring your heel in towards your glute. Bend and stack and open your hip. Again, keeping the shoulders squared in front of the space. Deep breath in. And then exhale. Step your left foot between your hands. And we're going to come into our low lunge on the other side. So again, remember you can pat your mat if you have knee issues. And then reach up towards the sky. So making sure your alignment is on here, so your hips are facing towards the front, left hip back, right hip forward. Knee is stacking over the ankle, your arms are engaged, you can spin your pinkies inwards, spiral in. And then this time we're going to grab our left wrist and lean over towards the right. So looking under your left shoulder, finding that lateral stretch. This feels really good, but it's also pretty challenging. And then come on back up through center. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, folding over left leg, coming into our half splits on the other side. Ardha Hanumanasana. And your next inhale, roll forward. And we're going to come into that easy twist on the other side. So right hand is grounded and your left arm is reaching up towards the sky. So really engaging through that top arm, reaching as high as you can up towards the ceiling. And again, you have that option to lift the back leg Just make sure you're opening your top shoulder and being really active through all points of your body. Now walk your left foot back down towards the mat, the middle of the mat. Roll to the outer borders of both feet. Reach up overhead, send your hips up high, and then exhale, lower down, hovering hips. Again, breathe in, hips to sky, arm overhead. Exhale, lower. One more time, reach up overhead all together, and exhale. This time, reach up, bring your hand back down towards the mat. And we're gonna come in from plank to chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal up the feet a little bit here. Now this time you can either walk, hop, or step to the front of your mat. We're just gonna reach up halfway. Exhale, fold. This time reach up all the way. Hands to heart, close your eyes, just catch your breath. On the next inhale, reach up. And then we're gonna come back down into that Malasana low squat. So feet on a 45-degree angle, mat width apart, coming on down. And this time we're gonna play around with some crow pose. So if you haven't done crow before, that's okay, we can just work up to it. So the first step, you're going to bring your hands down to the mat about hip width apart. Maybe step your feet a little bit closer in. And you're just gonna play with adding some weight into your hands. So just leaning your knees into your triceps. So you can just rock here a little bit back and forth. Perhaps you'll play with lifting one leg at a time. So you can lift your right and your left and continue with that. And if you want to add on here and do your crow pose, make sure you're really pressing through the hands, fingers are spread apart, and then you're going to lean into your upper arms and lift both feet from the mat. So you're squeezing your glutes, heels towards glutes, and hold. And then we're going to find our way back to plank, so you can either shoot back, and then we're going to exhale, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. So come on down to your knees, grab a sip of water. We're done all the hard work of our practice, so just take a little break. And we're just gonna come back to that child's pose that we did at the beginning of class. So you can keep your knees together, send them wide apart, doesn't matter. Arms can be forward, or you can bring your arms down by your side with palms facing up. Coming back to your breath, your intention, and being present. Rock back up into your table pose. Swing your legs out onto either side, and just find your way onto your back. So from here, bring your right knee in towards right shoulder. Activate through the left heel, so sending your left toes up towards the sky. And just rock your knee back and forth, massaging at the hip. And then draw your right knee in towards your right shoulder. Every inhale, find a little bit of length. And every exhale, draw the knee in a little bit closer. On your next breath in, bring the sole of your left foot onto the mat, cross right ankle over left knee, and then either interlace behind the left leg or on top of the left knee. And draw the left leg in towards you while sending your right knee away from you. So flexing through the right toes. It should feel really good in your outer thighs, your quads, and your hips. One more breath here. And then exhale, send your left leg forward. Shift your hips slightly to the right side of your mat. And then with the help of your left hand, draw your right leg across your body, coming into a reclined twist. Oh, that felt good. So keeping your shoulders grounded, maybe gazing over your right shoulder. You can close your eyes here. Just relax. And twists like this are really good for the body. They're really good at helping flush out our internal organs. It's a really good detox tip. And it also aids with digestion as well. Coming back up through center. Squeeze both your knees in, give yourself a little rock and hug. And then send your right leg forward, activating through the right leg, toes are pointing up towards the sky. And then draw your left knee in towards your left shoulder. So again, you can massage out the hip joint, bringing the knee side to side, making some circles. And then draw your left knee in towards your left shoulder. So every inhale, find some length. Every exhale, draw it in a little bit closer. And then we're going to find our figure 4 on the other side. So bring the sole of your right foot to the ground this time. Cross your left ankle over right knee. And just find that interlace again, wherever's comfortable. So whether that be behind the thigh or over the right knee. And then just draw your right knee in towards you while sending your left knee away from you. Active through the left foot. Toes are flexed. One more breath here. And then exhale, send your right leg forward. Draw your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Shift your hips over to the left. And then find your reclined twist on the other side. So using the help of your right hand to twist. Maybe crack your back. And then just release, settling in to your twist. And your next exhale, come back in through to center. Give yourself a big hug, lifting head and shoulders off the ground. Thanking yourself for all the work that you've just done for your body. And then exhale, release into your final resting shape, Shavasana. So let your feet fall open. Take up as much space as you can, palms facing up towards the sky. One more deep breath. And exhale, let it all go. Take 3 more big breaths here. And on your next exhale, just roll over onto your right side, creating a pillow with your right arm. Coming into fetal position. Then pushing up into a comfortable seated pose. So if this is uncomfortable for you, you can grab a pillow or you can grab a block. You can sit on the block if you like. Just come to sit cross-legged with your eyes closed at the front of your mat. Hands can be on your knees, palms face up. And bring your hands into prayer at the third eye, your forehead. Thank you all for practicing with me tonight. It's been a pleasure. My name is Harrison, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Namaste.